All right, I wanted to get into this just to kind of make my day. It's getting better, even though I had this real beat down on the basketball court. Even Helena, a cute girl in that coffee shop that I just came out of, she asked me how I'm doing. I said, I'm a little exhausted. I'm just, in the hoops. And she asked, like, how was that? I told her, it's not very good. And with the activity that I was doing, obviously, and this one it's like the 3-pointers only. Now look, in Frontier Park, on Robbie's birthday, that was August 20th. It was I started out really well. Like, I mean, if you thought that this is one I'm not capable of, I mean, I'm pretty capable. It's just I've yet to win one. Now look, I started out really well. What was it? Like, I think I was up at one point 13-3. So I was up by 10, yo. I was up by 10 that fast. To think that, oh, maybe this is the game I'm going to win, right? But not so fast. Yeah, I did start choking towards the end of the first half, where it went from once upon a time 13-3, where the target score run was like 21-0. Now all of a sudden I was down 13-24, and and then from there it's like didn't get any better. So look, man, I think for the sake of this finals, it's going to be a lot of adjustment. Now look, I know that the court that I was in, that's the same spot that I always play in, and yes, I have a winning record when I'm in that spot. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's not really the wind. And look, I know it's not daylight savings time right now because the sun is kind of like right, just a little barely above the rim. So I don't know if you can argue that, right? I could have moved to the other side if I have to, but yeah, it would have been easier because the fence is there. But I always feel like I have a better shot with this basket because I've made a lot of consecutive 3-point shots in that very spot. Had a lot of great moments. Obviously, the Steph Curry Olympic gold medal tribute, right? And obviously, my entire first season tournament, I had made 6 straight, coming back from big old deficit in the Eucalyptus series in Game 6, I think. So look, I mean, I had an awesome playoff run. I just hope this one doesn't end up depressing. But it is what it is. If it is going to be like the semifinals of last year. But hey, you know what? I got to look at the positive side. I came this far. Yes, I should have won the title, but at least I got this far. So this is I mean, the expectations to be in the finals, I mean, it certainly has already been met. Well, actually, the expectation was to be in to win at least more than one semifinals, or some would say in the bird season finals, which I did succeed. So now I'm in the finals, and if I lose, I mean, hey, it's not like it's not like what it was last year, where, I mean, yeah, my expectation was to at least be in the first round and lose, and instead I went to the second round for my first time in the first season tournament. So I've gotten far enough to say, hey, you know what? I had a long series and it had a long bird season tournament. All right, now I'm right here and just ready to face the real challenges. And if I lose, I'm going to come back better next year. Who knows if I'm ever going to be here the next year. You know what I'm saying? Considering all the moving plans. But yeah, let me get into this topic. I just want to briefly talk about this. The Oklahoma City Thunder, folks, just got annihilated in their own home Not against the Nuggets. Not against the Spurs again. Not against the Cavaliers. Not even against the 2016, 17, and 18 Golden State Warriors, for Christ's sake. Not even them. Not even the Lakers. Not even the Shaq Kobe Lakers. Not even the Miami Heat, LeBron, Wade, Bosh. That core. They lost to the Hornets. The Charlotte God freaking Hornets. By the way, does Michael Jordan still own that team? I'm trying to remember. I heard he's not anymore, but I could be wrong. But nevertheless, they got beaten down by the Hornets. Ultimately laughable, dude. The Thunder have started to become human. They were once superhuman when their record was 25-1. Okay. Since then, they've been 6-6. So they're pretty much like the rest of the pack in the West and even in the East. They're just like them now. They lost to the Suns the night before, and then they lost to the Hornets. You know what the score is? 97-124, if I'm not mistaken. 100. I think it was like 124 to 97, dude. But oh my god, like, oh my god, how do you explain that if you're a Thunder fan? Oh my gosh, they must be, they're feeling it right now. They're disgusted. I'm pretty sure they threw up after that disgusting loss. It was in Oklahoma City, not in Charlotte. It was in Oklahoma City. Oh, man, they got manhandled, dude. Like, somebody tell me what's going on with the Thunder. And here's the thing. Because of this title, you know, this is what it's really about. They're not gonna surpass the Warriors 73-9 record. They will not pass the Golden State Warriors. They will not. Because now, look, they're 30-6. Okay, but I think the Warriors did not get their sixth loss until March, and that sixth loss was against, I think, the Spurs. That Spurs team that was really good at the time, with Tim Duncan, Danny Green, Kawhi, Tony Parker, I think, was still there. Manu Ginobili, of course, and they were still a hell of a team, right? But yeah, at least like with Golden State, I know they've had, I think one of their losses was pretty bad. I think their other loss is also really bad. I think they only had a couple of bad losses, but the rest of their losses, though, they've been really close. And the Thunder, to their credit, I mean, they're most of their losses have also been pretty close, right? So just judging from, you know, I mean, the Thunder technically can still try to beat Golden State, but at this point, you know, they're not. They will not. They will not surpass the Warriors' 73-9 record. You know, like I said, the Warriors. Did they ever? I think they only had their most in a row when it comes to losses for that 2015-16 Warriors team was 2, right? And you know, I think they started the season 24-0, and then they lost next to, which is 24-2, right? And then you know, after that they started winning, and they didn't get their 6th loss. I think their 5th loss was against us. You know, the very bad Lakers at the time. I know Kobe was still there at the tail end of his career. So, you know, they got their 5th loss right there. That was in March. And also in that same month, they lost to the Spurs. And that was quite a close game, right? But, yeah, they lost. It was also a low-scoring game. So, but, yeah, They eventually finished with 73 wins. I mean, who knows? But it seems to me like the Thunder are not gonna get there. I think like it has to take a very gifted team like the 2015-16 Warriors before Kevin Durant came to shoot that many threes, especially when you have such great depth to shoot that many threes as well. This is a team that's well known for 3-point shooting, right? And obviously we know the Splash Brothers. So I think with them, they look more unbeatable than this Oklahoma City team. Let's just be honest. And their defense was also very good at the time. And remember, they still had Sean Livingston. And I think David West, if I'm not mistaken, was in that team. I don't know if Zaza was in that team already. I think he wasn't the one when Kevin Durant was there. I could be wrong, but I think he was already in that squad. But for the most part, that they had a much better bench, and their style of play, it was just so much fun. It's fun. It's very, it's almost like you're watching the Globetrotters to an extent, whereas Oklahoma City's, it's just very fundamental basketball. And yeah, their defense is very, very, very good. But, when you have a Warriors like playing their style of basketball, which is more fun than you would see in the Oklahoma City Thunder, obviously a team like the Warriors can definitely have this many wins. And hell, I think the following season, I think they had like 60 or so. Now look, the Thunder last year had 68. They're on pace to win 60 for sure, unless they keep being up and down to the point where they may not even reach 60. We'll see though, but I just don't think at this point, they're going to beat the Warriors record. They're not. So that's just my opinion. The Thunder can prove me wrong if they continue to win another 20 or 25 straight. So I'm going to leave it at that. But yeah, what a hell of a loss though. Anyways, man, I'll see you guys later. Peace.